say good morning, but it's good afternoon. Definitely going to give this one more test today. I'm looking forward to eventually here either going to Bodega Bay or maybe the aquarium down in Monterey. Anyway, that's another time. But today anyway, I'm going to work off of some of what I worked on yesterday, as far as I'm using the power cord to keep the camera strong. I'm using the new microphone, which is more of a boom mic. It will help keep the background noises down. And if I come across any features that I'm using on this Tesla that I think I should share, I will. It doesn't seem that Tesla does any advertising. Zero, I think, is the word they used. So it all comes from word of mouth. And there's a lot of people doing it. I mean, all you got to do is go on YouTube, and sure enough, everybody's, there's a lot of people that are doing it. But my take on it is that I don't want to just pick like seat belts today or backup cameras today or something like that. What I want to do is what this group is about, and that's basically driving. I want to be able to take the car out, share it as I do that, and also then, like I say, as I end up using some features, try to point them out. So I don't think at this particular point I'm listing those topics. There's what, only 3 videos I've done. This will be video 4 of this section. So right now it's easy enough just to go back and watch them. But if I get to the point where I'm doing like maybe 3 or 4 videos a week, I can see where there would be, what, 100 of them eventually? So I'll probably have to re-look at that and readdress the issue of at least putting in my descriptions a little bit what the topic was. So far I've noticed that after a live event, it takes maybe 10 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes for Facebook to actually process the live video stream that I did, and then actually then present it so that it can be watched by anyone afterwards, after the fact. So I've been putting, like, in the description of the video, like, if you read the one today, it's a little wordy, basically asking you guys if you wanted to come along and that sort of stuff. But in the future, I think I'll make that short so that I can then put a little smiley face or whatever to emphasize that I am now adding information after the fact. And when that happens, then maybe that's where I'll put those descriptions in there. And son of a gun, it looks like I have one rider with me today. Hey Joe, thanks for coming along. Yeah, I see the post there. I'm not obviously driving at the moment, but when I do drive, I won't be able to focus on the screen. So in the past, I've sort of said that if somebody has a comment on there, to kind of make it short, because I won't be able to really focus on it. You know how they are about having cell phones in the car. So, where was I? Oh, yeah, so I'm just kind of mumbling about what I think I'm going to be doing as I get going with this. So, what I wanted to try was getting up on the freeway again, where if I have the chance to go with a little more power this time. Let me go around this car while I'm at it. I'm now telling the car to go into ludicrous mode. So the last video I went up this on-ramp and I was at freeway speed by the time I got to it. This time I should hit freeway speed by the time I'm only halfway up. if there's nobody in front of me. And I'm kind of curious how that extra speed will look on the camera. Hope we get to go before that white truck over there gets on the freeway. Yeah, excellent. All right, nobody in front of me. Countdown, 3, 2, 1. Oh man, we're already 80 miles an hour. And I definitely need to back off. Well, that was fun. Oh, so you're saying, Joe, that I passed you, huh? Wow, we're neighbors. Alright, so I'm going to take the Crow Canyon exit, and then I'll go up through the canyon and test my hotspot. I have inside the car an AT&T hotspot that allows me to connect, I think, up to 20 devices, but at this point I've only got 2. I have my phone and I got my camera connected to it. So the stream should be long and strong at this point. Now, just to let you know, Joe, don't put anything on there that's real personal, because this is being broadcasted to everybody. Yeah, when I say everybody, it's actually that group, and the only people that can actually type anything is about 18 or 19 people. But because it is a group, it goes out to the rest of the world, but they, I don't think, have any input. They are able to see and read what we're talking about, but that's it. So I assume always that whenever there's a camera there, there's a million people behind it. It just makes it a lot easier. That way you don't have to think that there's a, 1, 2, or 3 people. It just isn't that kind of a setup. Alright, take the exit, change lanes. Boy, I remember back when there was never any traffic on that part of Castro Valley, especially this time of day. Must be a lot of people going back to work. Right at Lake Chabot and Castro Valley Boulevard. Huh. Son of a gun. Well, you're real close to the other Starbucks that I go to once in a while. Let's see, there's a... I think I even have a doctor's office on Castro Valley Boulevard there that I go to. Hey Jim, welcome aboard. Wow, this is a twofer day. Today actually gets to get marked on my calendar, the first time that I actually went live and I actually had people that were on the chat board. So, Jim, if you read the tag on this thing, I'm going to try the Wi-Fi signal going down Crow Canyon, and I know it's going to drop out. It's got to. But if that happens, I think the way I've got my equipment set up is that it kind of hangs on to that connection, and then at the other end when I pop out, it just goes live again without having to go and find another separate broadcast, and that's really what I'm testing. I don't know if the dropouts will allow me to have like a minute or two and then it has to connect or it drops out completely, or if it won't drop out until I actually press end. And I'm really hoping that the second part is the real deal, because let's say if I'm driving to Bodega Bay, I don't know where the dropouts are going to be, and I don't know for how long. So I would like to know that it will just stay there trying to reconnect until it does reconnect. So all these little baby tests are helping me get out to where I can do the bigger thing. Plus you guys have sliders, so if you really wanted to, especially during a dropout, you'll be able to slide back to the beginning and try to maybe pick up on what you might have missed. And then when you slide forward, I'll be here. So you don't have to ask my permission to leave the car while we're driving. And again, I'm kind of surprised with well, not so much surprised, I guess. There's a lot of traffic here, but that's because the freeway was slow. So we're in a 40-mile-an-hour zone, and I'm doing 32. I've been trying to use my Blackview security camera that actually reports on my live speed, and that's the camera for the last 2-3 weeks that I've been trying to get to work, and I finally gave up on it. It's an excellent Blackview security camera, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do, but I was trying to turn it into a live camera for video, for like vlogging, and it's not really the best for that. However, everything that it does gets put onto a chip, and later, after I would get back to the office kind of a deal, I would be able to remove the chip, load it into a computer, and then use that footage and assemble with a video director of some sort a trip. Well, it did drop out. It told me it dropped out. Big red square came up on the screen, but it appears that I'm back, and that was pretty short. I would say about a mile. So test 1 successful. I didn't have to do anything. Let's see how it goes from here. Yeah, so anyway, that Blackview camera, I'll tend to make movies with those, and on that it will actually show what speed I'm doing. But like right now, I would have to say I'm doing 29 in a 40. And I'm gonna do one other feature. I mentioned this yesterday. The car has what they describe as I don't know if it's pronounced TACC, cruise control. Anyway, what it is, the front of this car has a radar unit in it, as well as the Tesla itself has its own camera, which I cannot access. And then it also has sensors all around the car. So right now I'm using this adaptive cruise control. And even though I've got the cruise control set at 62, it's only going to go as fast as the cars in front of me. And right now I have it on gap 7, which puts me at this distance. And I'm going to now tell it that I want to be gap 1, which would put me pretty much on this guy's bumper. But let's see what it does here. Yeah, not that big of a deal, so it's not crazy. This is really handy. I'm going back to 7, so you'll see him pull away. This is real handy in stop-and-go traffic. Literally, I can tell the car, you do the driving. And if the cars in front of me come to a complete stop, this car will come to a complete stop. I don't have to step on the brakes, I don't have to step on the gas, and then when they take off, this car will automatically take off and resume. Plus it has what they call autopilot, which if I engage that, it would steer for me as well. So when I find myself on the freeway and I'm in stop and go traffic, I let it steer and operate the gas and brake for me automatically. I don't need to do that part to enjoy the drive. So right now you just heard a little beep in the background, boop, boop, and that's telling me that it engaged. So right now the car is driving itself. I'm not using the gas, I'm not using the brake, I'm not using the steering wheel. So that gives me a moment to read. Very cool. Wi-Fi is one thing, but data phone should work too. Yeah, and this is actually my Samsung S7 that I'm using. I sent away for a Canon SX740, and the thing about the Canon is that it hasn't been released yet. So I'm on hold. I'm on pre-order. I don't know how to describe that. So I'll eventually get the Canon that is a Wi-Fi, and it actually has 4K capability, where this phone isn't 4K, but it is definitely higher than HD. It's full HD available, and that's what we're set on. But because we're on Facebook, Facebook won't let me broadcast anything higher than 720. And I don't know, I'm going to be using Facebook until I get this all worked out. But I'm going to be putting some of this on my YouTube channel. I've done that in the past already, but I'm going to eventually focus on the YouTube channel with a lot of the live trips, but only after I work out a lot of my bugs. So all you guys are guinea pigs. No, that's not the word. Let's see, the founding members. Now, if you know anything about Facebook, you can earn badges, and I don't know if I totally understand that yet either. And by the way, the car is still driving itself. I think if you look at the little icon that is me, that there's a little red bug down in the lower right hand corner. I did not put that there, and I may have earned that by creating a group. Plus I may have earned that for being the administrator of my group. Now you guys can win or earn badges, but I think you get one. I think there's 3 that you can get, and one of them is for bringing someone else into this group. Don't know how to do that yet. I think you can do it with an email to somebody. Surely you have to. I know neither of your name is Shirley, but surely there has to be a way within Facebook to bring somebody else into it. And autopilot just dropped out. So I could start advertising this group and inviting people in, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let it be up to you guys so that you can get your badges first. Because down the road, when there are, let's say, maybe 50 people in here, you guys can stand out as the founding members. And I know you said something, Jim. I just can't read it yet. And I can only see 2 bars at a time, so it's possible that some of these will get by me until the ride is over. You're back, okay, that's good. And I don't show you no stinking badges. Oh, I like that. I did have a chance, Jim, to read your reply, and I'm glad you had a chance to drive the Mustang. I think that Mustang had like, I don't know, 290, 310 horsepower or something like that, but as you remember, it was an automatic. This car only has one gear. There is no transmission in this car. So I could do a first gear race from 0 to 155 miles an hour. Can't shift, and 155 is my computer lockout. It won't let me go any faster. But what a ride. And my horsepower in this car is like 761 horsepower. So I do like strong cars. I don't know, maybe there will be a day where I'll get weak and I'll let you drive it, but please tell me you've driven more than just Volkswagen since then. Alright, let's see here. Well, I'm surprised that we got all the way through the canyon. Because I'm using my cell phone, I decided to look for an app, and I found one that allows this phone to use. I'm on Verizon on the phone, and with my hotspot I'm on AT&T. And if this is anything like the Simple Safe alarm systems or the home security system we have in our house, they have 3 SIM chips, or SIM cards in them, so that if one network goes down on those security networks, it automatically switches to another. And I thought there had to be some way for the cell phone to go from my carrier and switch over to Wi-Fi. So this cell phone right now is connected Wi-Fi to my AT&T in the back, and of course the cell phone's network is Verizon, and both of them are unlimited and non-choked. The Verizon I have on my phone is like a 10-year-old plan, so it's grandfathered from way back. So going through that canyon, I won't know, and I'm going to try to look at the logs to see if the phone switched between AT&T and Verizon to stay connected longer. And if it did, then I may have to stay with using this phone instead of the Canon. Oh boy, I wasn't prepared for that. 761 horsepower. Yeah. If I can just find myself a tab of LSD, I could really have a real good trip in this thing. And your Seneca is 266, huh? Yeah, I know my phone switches back and forth, but I was looking for an app that did it stronger, and I was searching vlog guys on YouTube, and that's where I found out that yes, there was. And what happens with this particular app is that it will ping Verizon relentlessly, like once, I don't think it's once a second, but many times a minute, instead of the normal laid back, like, yeah, I don't know, a minute or two later is cool, and ping, you there, you know. So this app is very aggressive, and it will it'll turn itself inside out trying to get a connection, as well as it takes the signal inside the phone and will throw it to maximum aggressively, so that when it loses contact with the tower, it will boost its signal immediately with a ping, try to reestablish the handshake, and then after that it will then start backing off on the strength of the transmission. So it's an app that I don't use when I'm walking around with the phone in my pocket, because I think my battery would be dead within 20 minutes. But in the car, I'm plugged into the USB port. Power is not an issue, and this car has got a 90 kilowatt hour battery, so it charges the 12 volt battery in the car, so I could run 12-volt features in this car for 5 days without any problem. So my USB port won't drain the battery, which makes it awesome. And let's see, what else? Oh, and now this is a good time to put the car on full auto cruise. It's going to steer and it's going to accelerate and brake without my input, hopefully. I always say hopefully because it's not a feature that is out of beta yet. So like right now it's slowing down. I'm not touching any of the pedals. It's come to a full stop. I have not touched any pedals. I am not touching the steering wheel, even though legally I'm supposed to. So I'll put 2 fingers on the steering wheel, but I'm not steering. And it took off on its own. And my speed limit in this area is going to jump. For some reason my car wanted to aim for that bicyclist. That's wrong. But anyway, the speed limit in this area now is 45. And I've got the car set for 47, but the guy in front of me is doing 38 to 40, so that's regulating my speed. I don't have 2 SIM cards in this phone like you're typing it, and I know that I'm asking you guys to type short. It has its own SIM card, but then it has Wi-Fi going to my back seat where I have a Nighthawk M1 that is connected with its own card to ATT. And I'm getting a phone call, but I'm not answering phones. So I don't, if one of you guys are calling me, that's not going to work. Anyway, so yeah, I have 2 SIM cards for this transmission. And I like that. I'm hoping that my next phone will probably be the Samsung S10, and boy, I would love to know that they're finally going to put 2 SIM cards in future phones. There was a phone on Kickstarter that I put my money down on to help the project succeed, and it actually had 2 SIM cards and 2 memory cards that could be, at the time, 200 gigabytes each. So that would allow you to have 400 gigabytes of useful memory, as well as you had 2 front speakers on it that were going to be clips, I believe, and it was a dream phone. However, that was 2.5, 3 years ago, and the phone still hasn't been created. They're still holding my money, saying that they're going to produce it, but it hasn't happened yet. But anyway, I put money on a futures, basically, hoping that a phone like that would take off. You're saying USB and millivolt usage? Yeah, I think the car would be able to supply my phone for a month with 90 kilowatts sitting in the background, yeah. 2 months, maybe. The vampire drain on the car comes out to be about 5 miles a day. So let's say I'm on my way to the airport and I was going to go to Hawaii for 3 weeks. I'd want to go to the airport with a fairly good charge. And when I got back to my car, I could subtract 5 miles per day and pretty much know what to expect even before getting there, except that I have an app that allows me to drop in on the car at any given time. And I would be able to monitor the state of the car. But I wouldn't want to do that, because when you drop in with your app, you actually wake the car up. And then it would probably take a few hours for it to go back to sleep. So it would just be better to leave it alone. So right now, I don't have too many of my... this car has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 USB ports, 2 cigarette lighter ports, And the cigarette lighter port I have in the back also has 2 USB ports on it, and it's a smart charger that you can leave anything plugged into it, and when it is full, it will actually back off, and then as the unit drops down, maybe 0.3 of a volt or something like that, it will wake up again just to trickle charge to get it back to full and then drop out again. Not the best thing in the world for lithium-ion batteries, but I like the idea that it's not going to just sit there and bake away. So toys, I've always had them. I've heard tell people say I won, but unfortunately I've met people with better toys. So there's always somebody with more toys. The thing is that you just want to have the toys that you can use. The ones that are sitting in a box somewhere aren't doing you any good. So looking back, I've got probably 4 or 5, 6 cameras in my office that are 1080p's, maybe even a little better on one of the GoPros I have. And so if I just stick with the equipment I have, I should be able to put 4 or 5 cameras inside this car, but I can tell you right now, my sweetheart does not really like it when I'm driving around with cameras. So this is something I do when she's not in the car. But just for the record, I'm not driving yet. It looks like I'm going to here because it doesn't know what lane to take. Okay. It got confused, and that little beep was it saying, please grab the steering wheel, I don't know what to do. That's why it's in beta. But it's still doing the gas pedal and the brake thing, so I don't have to do that. Yeah, that's the whole point. You can jump out anytime. You don't have to ask permission to dive out. And Facebook will put this thing back together so you'll be able to drop in anytime you want to see the outcome. And the outcome is me pulling into Starbucks and getting coffee. So this test is really over, so you saw the best part of it. Thanks for stopping in. So, some of the things I was going to yammer about while I was by myself was already brought up in this exchange here. So, I would love to turn the radio on for the rest of the trip, but you know how they are, they won't let you play music. I'm looking into that too. I think what I'm going to get is either a subscription or actually buy some recorded music that gives me the freedom to post it on air, and then I can load it onto a memory stick, and then my radio here will just play that. So it would be elevator music, I might as well call it, in the background, but at least there could be some music. And some of them are kind of cool, you know, like if I'm driving along the beach, I think there's like beach boy kind of music or something that at least has some sort of a melody that resembles that. And if I'm up in the Napa area driving around, I'm sure there's wine music that I would be able to play. So I'll add that to my list of things to look into next. made it to Starbucks. Not so much that I need caffeine, but never hurts. Yeah, looks like this is where I'm going to park. Alright, I'm signing off. I may or may not turn it back on. I was thinking of going over to the Tesla dealership after this, but that's only like 3 minutes down the road. Maybe not worth hooking this all up. We'll see. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a great day. Today is a milestone. We had 2 founding members go along for a ride. Take care.